Let's start the show. LeBron James. Let's get it. Now, LeBron Ramon James is known throughout the world as King James, so he calls himself. So that means everybody else call him that because he calls himself that. I get it. Gets it. But now we're going to switch it up a little bit. Because somebody has decided it was okay to go ahead and stand up to LeBron Ramon James. Nobody other than Enes Kanter Freedom. Now look. He has been vocal about LeBron's inactivity, all of his fronting he's been doing about what he's been going through and all of the things that he's been accomplishing and all this garbage. All that stuff he's been talking. Right? He's been on top of it. Calling people out. Nike and China, the NBA had to get rid of him. They couldn't even let him finish the season. They had to get him off the team. Because he was costing them money. They took the Boston Celtics off of the air in China. Because of Enes Kanter wearing shoes and messages on his shoes. The NBA said they supported his movement. Because he's fighting for human rights. This is what the league is supposed to be, against. But when it affects their bottom line, they can't say anything. They're like, look, our hands are tied. There ain't nothing we could do. Now, Brittany Griner, or Griner, however you want to put it, has been in a Russian jail for over 100 days. While she's been in jail for over 100 days, I have not seen LeBron James open his mouth. I haven't seen LeBron James do a damn thing. Now, the United States and Russia have been doing this trade war that's been going on here because of the invasion of Ukraine, and they shouldn't have anything to do with this situation here. Now, in this situation, she was accused, Brittany, of bringing marijuana in a vaping pen over to Russia, which is illegal, and she could face up to 10 years behind bars. Right? Right. Now, somebody says, well, what's the big deal? I don't see what the big picture is. Well, let's see if we can find out what the big picture is. Since we're all here, let's see if we could figure this coinky-dink out. Because we wouldn't want this to be an ongoing problem. So, she keeps going in there. People are saying release her. The United States don't seem to have an urgency of getting her out of prison. So, after all this time, Brittany speaks out and says she doesn't think they're spending enough time to really try to get her out of the prison. She feels that people are actually just letting her stay in prison while they make money off her being there. Well, not make money off her being there, but not really caring that she's in there. And she said if she was LeBron James, she would have been home by now. Now, there have been other people talking about this and how this has been a major problem, but I haven't heard LeBron say a damn thing. Now his name's involved because she involved it, saying if I was LeBron James, y'all would have got me home by now. But since I'm a black lesbian, I'm not as important. So now this comes a whole different situation, right? Now the person who's been really campaigning and out there speaking has been Enes Kanter Freedom, as he's been in other countries fighting for their rights. Something he didn't have to do. He didn't have to forfeit millions of dollars as a 30-year-old basketball player from Turkey who basically fought to become a citizen of the United States of America. Because if he goes back to Turkey again, oh my goodness, it is not going to be well for him. And he's lived under a dictatorship where you are not allowed to bash anybody in power. It's punishable by jail. You could even be assassinated depending on the claims that you made. And he says this is one of the worst dictatorships in the world, and she's stuck there. And LeBron James goes on his show, The Shop, and decides to speak for the first time. Not on social media. He wants to do something to promote his show that he got on HBO. So, in order to keep it interesting, he goes ahead and makes a comment that how can she feel like America has her back after all this? Like, he's assuming what she would be feeling like. Saying, I would be feeling like, do I even want to go back to America? So, it seems unpatriotic that the man who played for the Olympic team, LeBron James, would make such a comment that sounds so very unpatriotic. And Enes Kanter had to respond. Enes Kanter said, "You are free to go, buddy." So after all of this this knock around LeBron was getting for the tweet, he said he wasn't knocking our beautiful country. He just was speaking and wanting Brittany to be free, and speaking out for freedom. Hashtag bring her home. So now he wants to fight for her freedom, but yet we don't remember him doing anything of the sort beforehand. Okay. Enes Kanter comes back, saying, you call it a step back, we call it a walk back. You are free to leave, buddy, or you can volunteer for an exchange for her. Some people literally have no idea what it's like to live in a dictatorship. you can be brutally beaten, you can be assaulted, and no one would say or bat an eye. They have the choice to do with you what they want. That's how a dictatorship works. And that's why people fight to fight against that, because they don't want to live in a life like that. Now, do I believe LeBron was being unpatriotic and all that? Hell no, he wasn't doing that. As much as I don't like LeBron James, he's not stupid enough to do something like that. This is how the people that don't like him call the spin cycle. And they wanted to spin it as if he was taking shots at America and being unpatriotic. He wasn't saying that at all. He was just saying America's not doing enough to basically, he feels America isn't doing enough to bring her home. Instead of saying that, he just put it like, if I was her, I don't, I'll be like, do I even want to come back to America? I mean, but here's the thing though. She's from America, so where else would she be going? But this is what happened when you try to use someone else's pain and struggle for what they're going through in life for your own propaganda or your own agenda to try to promote your show on HBO. You want to use this girl's pain, and you only want to talk about it there. While you weren't talking about it on social media, you want to talk about it only on your show. So you're not doing this to try to free her or get some attention on her. You're doing it to get attention for you and your show. That just shows you how low down people are. Now, the way I look at it is there is a standard in the music industry, sporting industry, and everything else, where when it comes to these politics, musicians are has way more freedoms to speak how they feel because it deals with them as an individual. Now, when they start going to other countries, that's when they normally have problems expressing their freedoms because they go under the law of the country that they're entering. Now, for professional athletes, they're under the company law, and most of them don't allow them to talk about certain political issues and things of this nature. They don't have the freedoms that they think they have, especially when you're working for the league, because you can cause an event like Daryl Morley that it ends up costing the league millions and millions of dollars. Now, as for me, I look at this as a pathetic way for them to try to exercise pettiness and try to deflect from the fact that they're not doing their job, because it's not LeBron James' job. It's not LeBron James. It's not LeBron James' job to free Brittany Griner. That's the United States' job. It's not the WNBA's job. It's not the NBA's job. That's the United States government. That's Joe Biden's job, is to go get her and get her back home. That's the government's job. So we can't sit there and put all the blame on LeBron. But he shouldn't have never did nothing, but he does what he does. Let his ego get in the middle of something that he know he ain't got no damn control over. But you want to talk about it on your show, but you ain't doing a damn thing to help. There's people in there trying to keep the awareness out there that, hey, don't forget, she's there. When y'all gonna go get her? She been there 100 days because everybody in America is so distracted with everything else that's going on in the world. And I want to say, shouts out to Ed Kwame Brown Bust Life. He is back, baby. He just texted me right now. I'm back. I said, all right, it's on. All these dudes finna get it. They thought they was stopping something. They ain't stopping nothing. You stopping nothing. Um, I think that when you look at the total picture that they have out here in the world today, you're gonna look at a whole new environment when it comes to the way professional athletes are are looked at. But when you look at professional athletes, that's what they are. They're professional athletes. They could be very vocal. But there's very little things that they could do. Now, LeBron James can talk about what happened with Jalen Walker here in the United States, but what's going on in Russia, he's going to have to be a little careful with how he speaks about that. He's going to have to be real careful how he speaks about China. He's going to have to be real careful with how he speaks on all of these subjects because he's not his own man. He works for his boss. And his boss don't like when they sit there and start talking about things that don't have merit. And things that could be detrimental to the business and their bottom line. Because in the end, that's all they want to do. Now, like I said, it's about one thing. One thing only. And you know what that one thing is? Protecting their image. The federal government is deflecting all of the attention and trying to come after LeBron and everybody else to cause a distraction to take the attention off why the government isn't doing their job in freeing this woman. It's their job, right? So if y'all want her home, instead of warring with LeBron James about it, which he should have just been shutting the hell up anyway. All right. Now, all hell has been breaking loose all over the world, and people just didn't know about it. But people are sitting here. That's Kwame. He's really excited about the news. Now he's finna get his other channels back, man. Y'all ass is grass. That's all I can tell y'all. Y'all ass is grass. When you get back on there. But the federal government, it's their job. Uh-oh. Mm. But the federal government always likes passing the buck. Russia wants to do a trade for somebody, for Brittany. Of course, all of this is about Ukraine. Now they're not going to pull out of Ukraine for Brittany, but where is the LGBTQTC, whatever her group? Huh? Wasn't it just their month? Why didn't they unify or assemble to go get one of their own? Here you're celebrating, right? Why they didn't do it? Anybody ever wonder that? Why they didn't get up and say, all right, let's go get our person. Where are the groups? Where's GLAD? Where's all these people? Why they didn't unify, do a march, do a protest? I don't really see the support. A lot of people will say, oh, there's support out there. I don't really see it. All these alphabet groups, I don't really see the support. You know what I see? Nonsense. 24 hours a day. And it's because of that, people pick their outrage to support, including these groups. But it seems like if you're African American, no matter what group you're in, you are going to be the bottom tier. So we'll see how it all plays out. So don't forget to hit the like button, support the page. It's your boy Carceno. I'm out. God bless.